Yo guys, what up? It's P. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my return to YouTube. Listen guys, I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time and I've been waiting for it for a long time. We'll get into a little bit of the reasons why it's taken me a long time to get back in another video, but today I really want to focus on my custom tactics. If you guys have been watching me on stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/its_PTV, you can come watch me play my weekend league games and such. Some of you guys have been worried about my custom tactics. I want to show you guys what tactics I use to consistently get 10-0, 12-0, 13-0 before we start getting into high elos and losing games here and there. Here it is. So to start, here's my team. You know, it's a fairly meta team. We only have one 5-star skiller right here in João Felix. Something to take note of as I talk about this. I would like to upgrade some of my other attacking players to 5-star skills. It's not something that's on the cards right now as we have a first owner team right here, okay? So just take note of that, all right? So let's dive right in. And if you guys appreciate this video, before we get into it, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe and so on and so forth, okay? So here we go, custom tactics. You guys have been wondering, these are my 4-2-3-1 custom tactics. I have a bunch laid out right here, but my default right now is attacking 4-2-3-1 style. If you guys want me to go over some of the other ones I use, I'll be happy to do that in a different video. Just leave a comment and I'll do that for you, okay? So we're gonna start in a defensive style. Is going to be balanced, okay? Is going to be balanced. Now, there's a reason for this. I know pressure after heavy touch is very, very strong, okay? But I do like to make sure I manually press, which is just a down on the D-pad. Down and left on the D-pad is a manual press right there. And then I like to switch that on and off so I don't have anybody, you know, countering me in positions where, you know, oh, I probably should have ticked that off or whatever the case is. So, yeah, I manually do that, okay? Width, I keep that at 5, right? We want to stay very, very balanced. We want our wings to defend the wing. We want our central midfielders to defend the center and so far. Listen, this isn't complicated. Depth, now this is where it gets interesting. A lot of people are still rocking like 3-4 depth. For me, I click it up to 6. Sometimes I move it up to 7 just to get a little more creative. I feel like it really closes the gap. My line scoots up a little bit and it closes the gap between my back line and my defensive midfielders. I don't want them running, you know, willy-nilly behind my defensive midfielders before they run into another body. Does it leave you to getting, you know, counterattacked and wide-balled? A little bit, but you're gonna see as we continue to talk, a lot of this is gonna put it on you guys. It's gonna put this on you guys to make sure that you're manually controlling the players as much as you need to, right? In order to not get caught out, okay? We're gonna move on to offense real quick. Trust me, we'll revisit this. We'll revisit this as we go into play instructions and stuff. Offensive style, again, is balanced. A lot of people like long ball. A lot of people like fast build up. To me, if you're just playing your default style, right, this is the formation, remember, that you start the game in. Long ball and fast build up. I don't want midfielders, my cam, my attacking midfielders and so on to just scream forward. A lot of times you just need to ping the ball around, especially when you get to higher level competition. You got to ping the ball around a little bit and you got to have people show feet towards the ball, and when that happens and they all scream forward, you end up turning the ball over more than not because you just don't have anybody to go to. So I like to do it balanced. If I want to send somebody on a run, it's simple. You look at them and you press left bumper and they start sprinting for you, right? Pretty easy stuff right there. Width right here, again, we're just gonna go balanced on the width. And this is good just because if ever you need to widen it out or anything like that, you could always press up on the directional pad, and I believe it's right, for hug the sidelines, and all of a sudden you'll see a lot more space. So if you ever need to like really quickly do that, that's how you do it off the D-pad, right? Players in the box, the right bumper X crossing is very, very strong this year, and if I were to tick this down, obviously I would be losing an opportunity to score by not having people in the box. So I like to make sure I tick it up to 6, sometimes 7 if I want to get really, really good with it. That'll help me utilize that right bumper X. Corners, you want to have some people in there. I don't like it at 1 because it's like it's not a threat. But I also don't want to get counterattacked. Same thing with free kicks as well. Now, the juicy bits, right? We're going to go to the instructions here. Here's how I set my team up. Okay, I know it's weird. Kappa and Varane back here at center backs. I know it's first owner. Sometimes for first owner, you got to get a little creative about where you're setting your players. Okay, so here's what we do. Okay, Mane up top. Simple as work rates right here. He plays up top. João Felix with the medium work rates is a much better cam. Again, I would love to get all of these players at 5-star skills. It's just not possible for us at the moment. Okay, so a striker right here, he's going to stay on stay forward. I really like stay forward for him because it's going to press him up against that back line. And like we mentioned in our tactics tab over there, we don't like it when our center backs and our back line leave massive gaps between the back line and where the defensive mids are placed, right? We don't like that. But what happens is if Mane presses up against the back line, it elongates the distance between the back line and their defensive midfielders. So I like to have him press back as much as I can. So he's on stay forward. I don't do any of this other stuff because I don't want him doing things that I can't call out myself. And like I said, with the left bumper thing, I can always have him make a run. I actually don't touch my cam at all, right? And he does a good job of coming back to the ball for outlets. Sometimes, if I feel like he's not, I actually put him on free roam. And that time, and he'll come across sideline to sideline over the top of the ball, collect the ball, and begin an attack. Sometimes that's pretty good, but we stick to position for now. Now, we did mention how strong these players were with the right bumper X, okay? We mentioned that was kind of a thing, an overpowered asset that we like to use. And so, of course, we got to have our wingers as get into the box. Super important. Again, a lot of people like come back on defense. I leave my players at high work rates over here. And you know what? A lot of times they'll just come back on their own, or I can manually bring them back, right? But if I leave them on come back on defense, sometimes I just don't have enough for a counterattack. And if I leave them on stay forward, obviously I'm not getting any support from them. So we're balanced right there. And that's for both sides. I do the same thing for both sides. This is super important right here for the DMs. It's going to be stay back while attacking. This is for both. They're both identical, right? In the past, you've heard me say, hey, it's important to have at least one be a little more attacking. We'll go into in just a second. We'll roll some gameplay. We'll do it right now. Look, so in the past, having one of them attacking was a little more beneficial for me, but now this formation right here has taught me a whole lot about how to play in sort of upper level FIFA. Now, granted, I promise you, I'm not that good. Our series on Twitch is we're still chasing elite. Okay, that's still happening. But this formation has kind of taught me what it's going to take, and it highlights sort of the areas that I'm weak in when I play, when my gameplay is weak. And it does a really good job of allowing me to play one-on-one football in the attack and leave it up to me to do a skill, to be patient in the attack, whether that's pass backwards or pass sideways to make sure, right? It leaves me one-on-one and it gives me the opportunity to outplay my opponent, right? I don't believe, if you're looking for tactics on YouTube, I don't believe there are tactics available, right, that are going to give you opportunities to just beat the other player all the time, right? If that were the case, everybody would run them, and then you would be running into the same tactics and they would cancel each other out anyway. It's just not possible, okay? This tactic right here allows you to be in positions to outplay your opponent one-on-one, at least attacking ones, okay? Now, again, like I said, if I ever need one of them to attack, I just simply look at them and press left bumper. There are times when the ball gets to Felix or to Mane, right? And we have these guys over here and they're super out wide. Wait, we leave them out wide over here. When this would be a good run-in, right? Right? We have 4 across right here with the top line, okay? And they have 4 back most of the time. Now, if they're all spread out the way that they need to be, sometimes a good DM run through right there, run through the back line is exactly what we need. And, that sometimes I'll call for that manually, but I don't want them doing it and for us to get caught out. That's the main thing right here. We don't want to get caught out in weekend league because you guys know, man, they just spam the wide balls. It's one button, they're through the defense. Now all of a sudden we're chasing, That said, up the sideline, we need to make sure our fullbacks are on stay back. Right, conservative interceptions is no secret any longer. Everybody knows the fullbacks stay on conservative interceptions. It stops them from getting out of position. And I like to take this over here to overlap. So if I ever do manually call them to make a run, they overlap and they don't do the inverted thing. So they're like way out of position, and we got the whole team's got to shift and morph for them to get back in their spots, right? So it's just overlap for them. Same thing on both sides. The one thing that a lot of people forget they forget about their goalkeeper's tactics. Sometimes if your goalkeeper doesn't have the trait comes for crosses, you can manually tick it right here in the tactics. Oh, this is so good against corners. This is so good against balls whipped into the box. They stand big and strong. Sometimes you need to manually move them, right? But a lot of times you'll get away with just ticking this right here. And, you know, you got your big keepers like I do, the Van der Sars, 6'5", 6'6" guys coming in nice and tall, catching the ball, punching it away, whipping those crosses into the box. So that's been super helpful for me, all right? You know, roles are kind of up to you. Now, this play style, like I said, is one where you definitely... The meta in this game is to whip the ball up the field with the Y balls. Left bumper Y, double tap and Y, the right bumper Y. It's all, I mean, it's all in play in this one. And you got to make sure defensively you're ready for it. And offensively, you're ready to take advantage of it. Okay? But that's not always the case where you can. So, listen, the things that you might want to learn here, okay? You got to learn your skill moves. The overpowered skill moves in this one, the ball roll. The overpowered skill moves, the flip-flap, or that's something that you just have to learn right there, the flip-flap. The sombrero flick or rainbow flick is another really strong one for when your player or your opponent switches players a little bit late, or maybe they come charging at you. And again, another one that works the same way as the rainbow flick is the bridge, and that's a simple double tap of the Y button. You'll notice in some of the gameplay footage, I mean, that right there is probably the single most powerful move in the game at the moment, given that they just nerfed the step over. So you guys got a little bit to learn in order to one-on-one break down your opponent. And you know what I do too? If you want to learn with me, again, please come follow me on Twitch. That would be greatly appreciated. Come in there. You could watch me. You could take your notes. You could tell me how bad I stink, whatever it is you want. Yeah, and I would greatly appreciate that. If you guys think this video helped you or is something you're going to end up trying out, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see a different tactics video, maybe you have a formation that you're just dead set on, type it down in the comments. I'll see if that's something that I can figure out for you and make video on, okay? That said, thank you guys so much for being here, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one, man.